The Craig Reynolds block on the Amon-Ra touchdown.
Oh.
That's Lions football,
Mm-hmm.
okay? That's Lions football. That's Dan Campbell. That's this group. And you can tell they have this kind of like this way about them that they're gritty. A couple weeks ago after they lost, Dan said, we need to get back in the mud. They're a muddy team. They like games like this. Fuck it. We got to play left-handed. We can't run the ball. Let's embrace the challenge. We got to hit Jameson Williams for a shot. Like that's going to be the biggest play of the game for us. Like we'll do it. They're learning how to win different ways. I thought Goff was really good. And I thought this was a huge win because you're missing Montgomery. The Bucs are that scrappy team. It's a sleepy spot.
They could be the most underrated team in football.
Well, I think it's catching up to where like people understand. Last week, the tables turned so much. We had the conversation about are they contenders? I want to go back and say I hate that word because what does it mean? Mm-hmm. It's so easy for me to say.
Are they in play?
It's so easy to say a team's not a contender and then be right at the end of the year. So if I say the Lions are contenders and they don't win the Super Bowl, do I then get to be like, look at me?
Yeah, what do they have to get to the
I think
NFC Championship?
I think what I want to see from Detroit, pull their schedule up if you could. Like I want to see them win late in the year and look like this. And then you could say, fuck yeah, they can do this thing. But the whole key is for the Lions is going to be home playoff games. They're 5-1 right now. They're right there with the Eagles. They're right. And the Eagles have a really hellacious stretch. The Lions have next up, they get the Ravens. God, remember that Lions-Ravens game where Tucker hit the crossbar and it went in from like the 50-yard line? Mm-hmm. This should be a really good game. Lions-Ravens. Raiders-Lions, you feel good about that. Lions-Chargers, a good test for the defense. Bears, Packers, Saints, Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Cowboys, Vikings. There's no game on that schedule the rest of the way that the Lions can't win. Mm-hmm. And all their hardest work is behind them. They went to Arrowhead. They won that game. They played the Seahawks at home. That's a tough one. They have the best team that they're going to play. The toughest game has already happened. So if you can go into Arrowhead and win, you can win any of these games. You're 5-1. You want to be contenders, host home playoff games. If you're hosting home playoff games, they could absolutely get to the Super Bowl. And once you're in the Super Bowl, you can win it.
I wish they played outside, though.
Yeah.
So playoff games would be nice and cold, extra little home field advantage.
I love the outside games. But I'll just say this, Lions fans, don't take this the wrong way. When I say at this point, when I think about contenders, I think about the top 2-3 teams in the league. And they're right there. They have a chance to be right there. But I think they got to keep winning and be in position to host some of these teams that I think on paper are a little bit better. Right?
Or even get a number 1 seed. Eagles and 49ers are going to take each other out.
That's what I'm saying. That's your path. You want a chance to play in fucking February. Going on the road to do it is going to be tough. So look at that schedule. It lines up for you. And I'll say this, talking about the playoffs, 2.5 game lead in the NFC North. They're going to run away with that thing. Okay? Easily could be 6-0. And I think the defense has played really well on the road. I think that's the biggest good sign about this team. Even though they didn't get pressure yesterday, again, no Montgomery, no sacks, really. It wasn't like in games past. They still found a way to win, and this is a huge tie break. Because you think about the playoffs, if for some reason they lose some games and they're tied with the Bucs or tied with Atlanta, and they're both playoff teams, they get the home game. I'm talking a lot about home field advantage. I'm talking about playoffs because they have played themselves into this echelon. Now these good teams focus on things like that. So, you want to be a contender, keep winning. And Todd Bowles, more of the same. Not going for it down 14 with 10 minutes to go. 4th and 2 on their own 33. I understand it's your own 33, but it's 2023. Mm-hmm. People are going to kill you for that. So, and get off the field on 3rd and long. They couldn't. Not that we're going to talk about the Bucs a lot more in the NFL season. I mean, I respect what they've done so far, but it's going to be tough for them to be relevant into January. Because that's the cream of the crop. You got them at home, you score 6 points. It's not going to be enough. Okay? This is one of the best teams in the NFC.